Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I've been paying attention to this Emaru and Ms. Kiff situation, and it's crazy. You know, for those that haven't really been paying attention to it, like, nah, man, Ms. Kiff, that guy is crazy. He's somebody where I'm like, you don't need to be in a relationship. Because, no, so what's crazy is that, so yesterday I reacted to the video that Emaru posted of it was the VOD from Twitch, but her detailing her relationship with Ms. Kiff. I haven't checked out Ms. Kiff's side of the story, but I have heard some things, and the one thing I felt like that stood out to everybody, where now that I made it into a meme where he was like, oh, she was abusive too, she threw plushies at me, and it's like, fam, you can't compare a plushie to, regardless of whatever phone you have, whether it's the smallest iPhone possible or the smallest Samsung Galaxy, a phone is heavy. You know, it has weight to it. And she was talking about that, how like he threw a phone at her eye. I don't know if he did it on purpose or what, but it's like, it ain't like he'll ever come out and say whether or not he did it on purpose. But anyways, but yeah, it's like, I guess it was so bad that it caused her to get a black eye. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like phones are like, they got some weight to it. Like, I don't know, like, you know, maybe if you're a youngin', like you a kid or something, you might not have like nothing like no iPhone or something, but I feel like everybody for the most part knows like a phone got some weight to it, you know. So like I don't care like how like much you hit the gym, you work out, how big you are, how light things are to you, or I grew up in a household where we got phones thrown. I ain't never had no phone thrown at me, you know. So that's why I'm like, there's no defense for that. There ain't no defense for that at all. But yeah, man, it was like, there was a lot, you know, there was a lot that was talked on Emaru's part, and I'm like, man, it's messed up that, you know, somebody had to go through some crap like that. And then today I react to this video where, and I didn't even know that he was in a relationship with Maya Higa, I believe that's her name. I don't really be paying attention to the content creating sphere like that, you know, when it comes down to relationships and all that stuff. So people will tell me like, oh, did you know such and such was in a relationship? I'm like, no. I'm like, you guys, the thing is this, I'll say that, I've been a content creator for 15 years. I just create content. Like, I don't be paying attention to people's personal lives like that. I'm like, there's people that I know outside of content creating, and I don't even be paying attention to their personal lives like that. And there's people that I would say that I'm close with, and you know, but yeah, like, I'm like, there be at times people are like, oh yeah, I got married, kids, all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, where was I at? I'm like, you know, so, but yeah, but and there'll be people that I'm like, I'm following, and it's like, yeah, you know, so it's like one of my friends, he just posted today that he just had a kid. I'm like, bro, wait a minute. I'm like, you know, it's like, when did this all go down? This is somebody that I grew up with. This is somebody that I've known since I was in I'm trying to think, like elementary, you know, because I was trying to think, I don't think I knew him since preschool. I knew him since elementary and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like, you know, I hear stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, like he got like, I don't know how many kids he has exactly, but I'm just saying like that's how out of tune I am with people. I'm not saying that I don't pay attention to people or I'm self-centered, but yeah, I'm like, I just don't be getting myself involved in other people's business. I feel like it's gonna be kind of a hypocritical thing to say after today's episode, because I ain't really want to talk about Emaru and Ms. Kiff. Like, I did want to kind of give you guys like their like the inspiration on today's episode, and yeah, it was because of the Emaru and Ms. Kiff situation. But one individual that we don't even know who they are, but I can't help but think about like after seeing all this stuff that's going down, because I'm like, fam, you know, Ms. Kiff, he kind of reminds me of somebody that I'm a little bit familiar with, somebody that I ain't had some issues with when it comes to content creating. And I feel like that if something were to happen between this individual and the person that he's in a relationship with, I feel like that we probably would see some video down the road, unless like he had them sign some like one of those like agreements where she can't talk about their relationship on the internet. But it definitely will be a thing where I'm like, you know, find a way around. Well, don't even, my thing is this, if they got you signing some sort of agreement like that before you get into the relationship, break up with them. I ain't no way possible I'm signing a contract before I get into a relationship. I'm like, this is not the NBA. I'm not getting paid millions. It ain't, no, we ain't doing that. And I'm like, if you plan on doing something in the relationship, you need to let me know of it right now so I can know whether or not I need to be in this relationship. But it honestly wouldn't surprise me though. But anyways, the individuals I'm going to be talking about is just the robot and his girlfriend. Cause yeah, man, I was sitting down like watching that Emaru video, and then just kind of hearing some of the things that Ms. Kiff did. I'm like, fam, that sounds a lot like Just a Robot. You know, like, it wasn't like the main thing that I was thinking about, but it was just kind of like a quick glimpse where I was all like, dang, man, you know. And then today I start thinking, I'm like, maybe I should do like a podcast episode or a video, because I can't just allow something like this to just kind of cross my mind and I don't say nothing or do anything about it. It's like, because I feel like it's going to not like really like eat at me, but I'm like, it's going to kind of like a thorn, or like, you know, like just in my side. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do something about this, you know. But and who knows, maybe I might not have no effect, maybe. And you know, this is what I'm thinking. His girlfriend will probably, I'm highly doubt that she'll ever listen, because he, Just a Robot, probably be talking to her about me and stuff. And yeah, and she's probably like, okay, well, yeah, I know to avoid this TMossBoss guy. But if she is listening to this podcast episode, yeah, I'm like, definitely, you know, hear me out on some things, because I at the end of the day, I just want people to be safe. You know, I just want people to, you know, not be in a situation. And I feel like that she's kind of in a situation, you know, and you know, most likely this is going to reignite some drama. Just a Robot's gonna snap, go crazy, because I'm talking about his girlfriend and things. But at the end of the day, it's like, you have to see who you are as a person and understand my point of view from things. It wouldn't be no different if I were in a relationship, and then yeah, if I was talking about it in videos and people are interviewing me and all that stuff, I'm willing to bet money he would talk about it. My thing is this: if he talked about me processing a friend of mine's passing away, you don't think he would talk about me getting in a relationship? I'm willing to bet money on that, bro. So that's why I'm like, I don't put nothing past Just a Robot. And after watching that Emeru and Ms. Kiff situation unfold, yeah, I'm like, Just a Robot, he definitely has those Ms. Kiff traits, you know, where he seems like he would do some things. I don't know if I'm allowed to really talk about it on this platform and stuff like Spotify podcasting, because I really don't know their rules and guidelines and what's allowed to be said or not. I know with YouTube, and I know that this is going to get posted on YouTube and stuff, so that's why I'm trying to be as safe as I can be when it talking about this stuff. But yeah, I feel like that Just a Robot has some traits about himself to where he would take advantage of his relationship. Probably is already. My thing is this though, because when you sit down and you think about it, the first time we ever heard about her was when he was talking about that Cinnabare video, where he was all like, oh yeah, maybe he talked about her beforehand. I don't know. I don't be paying attention to him like that. But at least for me, the first time I heard him talk about her was when he said he was putting together this Cinnabare video, and she said, don't do this video. What did he do? He turned around and did the video anyways. And I think I said that before, that it's like, you know, well, he is kind of hard of hearing, you know, he's one of those people that wants to be hard-headed and not listen to nobody. So maybe that's just you know, his thing. But I sit down and I think about my interactions that I've had with him, and I'm like, fam, I'm a complete stranger. And I'm like, and I was annoyed by this guy at one point in time. Like, it got to a situation where I was all like, man, I'm just going to block and ban any and everybody that mentions anything about Just a Robot in my comment sections. That's the effect that he has on people. Now, I would imagine that you done agreed to be in a relationship with this guy. That ain't crossed your mind, and I don't know, maybe they sat down and they talked about it. It's all like, hey, that stuff that you be doing on the internet, you ain't gonna do that with me. Yeah, maybe she's somebody where she don't be playing no games, like she's like you know, behind the scenes Ronda Rousey or something. She's like, I would stump you out and you try some stuff. I'm like, if they had that conversation, then anything that I say in this podcast episode ain't gonna matter. But if not, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I definitely recommend she takes some self-defense classes, because Just a Robot, he does have that like vibe about himself where it's like he'll do something, like he'll, you know, do something physically and then just be like, oh, sorry, my dyslexia, like I thought I was punching in the other direction and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, and you know, the thing is this, like, people think I'm joking around trying to be funny, and you know, I'm trying to, no, like, I'm being dead serious as I'm doing this podcast episode. Yeah, it's like I might crack a joke here and there and stuff, but I'm being dead serious. He has that vibe. I'm like, that's something where I'm like, you know, I might not be the best at reading people, but when I feel like when it's just a person has similar traits, and then there's that one action that they do where it's like, fam, you know, you could do some jail time behind that and stuff. I see that with Just a Robot. You know, and I know people will probably be all like, oh, that's a low blow and that's this and that's that. I'm like, okay, then prove me wrong. Prove to me that he's not this guy. Because I'm like, my thing is this. You know, when I, like, just throughout the years of me dealing with him, and you just see, like, that control that he has over people, You don't think he's trying? Well, no. It's okay. So, prime example. Now, I feel like if there's anybody in this world that you're gonna be close with, it's gonna be your sibling. Now, I have heard some situations before where people ain't really all that close with their sibling. With me, I would say for myself, I'm close with my sibling, and that's one thing that it's like, we know each other's boundaries. We know not to like talk on certain things and all that stuff. Just the Robot, on the other hand, from what I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I heard, his sister, I think, had walked into his room, asked him something. He started talking about her weight. Why would you start talking about your sister's weight? Like, that's something where I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. Allegedly. I'm going to just say allegedly. But why would you do that? Like, out of all the things, that's one thing, me and my sibling, we ain't never talked. Well, like, at least for me, because I'm like, I've been skinny my whole life. And so, like, it was not too long ago where, I talked about like how I put on some pounds and stuff, and they were like, my family was tripping off of it because they was all like, yeah, it's like you've been skinny your whole life and stuff. So it's things like that where it's like, I guess like if it's a conversation starter and we just talking about it and stuff, like because my family was like, oh yeah, I noticed that you got bigger and things. And because I be trying to like I try to like watch my weight and all that stuff, but I have been like lifting and eating right and doing all those. So yeah, it's like stuff like that, conversations like that. But it's like, nah, Just a Robot wasn't having no conversation like that. I would imagine somebody like him, he's gonna be saying something disrespectful. My thing is this: if he's saying stuff like disrespectful to a person online, what's gonna make it any different? And I guess like, yeah, if he ain't really all that cool with his sister, it's like, do you think she's going to get some fair treatment because, oh, that's blood, that's family, that's this, that's that? No, I highly doubt that he's being respectful to his sister. So that's the one thing that I have heard, I guess, with somebody that he personally knows. Now, talking back on his relationship, what I guess like and my thing is this, I guess like with me, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I'm like, when I sit down and I've like, the documentaries, because I'm like, fam, I done seen movies based on a true story, documentaries, I done read stories where there are people stuck in a relationship because the significant other, like, they're that crazy to where they're like, I'm afraid that something might happen if I decide to leave. Just a Robot, again, he gives off those vibes. He seems like the type where it's like, it's either we do things my way or it ain't gonna work out. And I'm like, fam, that's not, I don't think there ain't no equal treatment going on within that relationship and stuff. But again, maybe it's me being paranoid, maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries, maybe this is a conversation that I shouldn't be talking on. But I guess like to somebody that actually knows Just a Robot, like not like him as the content creator, but like Luke actually knows Luke. Do you see him being? And I mean, like, even just no. Okay, another interactions that he had with people IRL, the VidCon situation. I guarantee. My thing is this. All right, let's just paint out this scenario. Let's say all this stuff that with like Just a Robot and the internet, that's too much for his girlfriend to handle, right? Let's say she breaks up with him. She's like, nope, can't do this no more. It's like, I'm getting involved. You got this TMossBoss guy talking about me and stuff. It's like all these different things. Don't want to be involved no more. Ending the relationship. Gone. Done. I guarantee and I promise you, he gonna do the same thing that he did to them people at VidCon that he did to he'll do to his girlfriend, stalking, being weird, and all this other extra stuff. And it's like, fam, and that's the thing, he doesn't know boundaries. He doesn't know how to have respect for people. So why should I believe that, all of a sudden now he's in a relationship, he's gonna have respect for this girl? I don't believe it. I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, again, maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries. Maybe I'm crossing the line, dashing. But at the same time, it's like, how many times have he uncrossed lines with people? How many times had he unsaid things and did things to where it's like, bro, you're pushing the limit here. So that's why I'm like, fam, I'm not worried about, I guess, him being upset. I'm not worried about his fans being upset. I'm overall worried about somebody that agreed to a relationship with this guy being put in a situation where it's like, dang, I might have to fight for my life one day because this guy is crazy, So yeah, that's why I'm like, to whoever his girlfriend is, I'm like, man, either she's just as crazy as he is, and that's why she's not worried. But if not, then I'm like, yeah, I would definitely recommend, because I imagine that she might be paying a little bit of attention to the content creating sphere. If not, get yourself involved. But even then, if not that, it's like you should overall know, like, just with all the different, I mean, like, there's movies that you can watch that are based on the true story, and I'm pretty sure there's some fictional movies out there where it might not be based on the true story, but it's inspired by actual events, documentaries, all that stuff, where it'll let you know more about people like Just a Robot. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm, whoever she is, I would definitely sit down and have a conversation with him, talk, communication, all that stuff, get that all out, and like, what do you overall, because he ain't gonna never come, I feel like he'll never come out and tell the truth on what he wants from that relationship. He'll say one thing, but mean a completely different thing, because his dyslexia and autism told him to. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it honestly wouldn't surprise me if he came out and said like, yeah, we ain't in a relationship no more, and I'm like, wonder how that went down and stuff. And then sometime after that, we end up seeing an exposing video, all like, oh yeah, I was just a robot's girlfriend for all this amount of time and stuff. Point proven. All right, so yeah, I'm like, unless she's doing a shout out, I'm like, oh okay, she fooled us all, but yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm a concerned citizen, and I think, it's like somebody needs to check on this girl, make sure she's good, make sure everything is all right, because if not, then I'm like, it's episodes like this don't just get recorded for no reason, all right, so anyways, with that being said, and if I again highly doubt she's probably listening, because I did another take. I can't remember if I said this or not, but yeah, if she is listening to this, I'm like, this is a wake up call. This is a sign. I'm like, you need to figure some things out, I guess, before this goes too far. And then then talking to him, I'm like, just do right by her. But I'm like, if not, then it's like in that relationship. I mean, but it's like, honestly though, you kind of just see it's kind of like you read the title of a book and stuff, but it's like, then it's like all these different catastrophic events that's happening within the book and things. You just read the title and it's all like, dang, this is intriguing. This is different. This is odd. First event that we ever heard of with Just a Robot and his girlfriend was that he didn't listen to her about the one video that pretty much canceled his whole career. And it's like, and here it is, this girl's trying to help you, and how did you respond to that? So that's why I'm like, yeah, bruh. I'm not hearing nothing that he has to say. I'm like, I guess like, actions speak a lot louder than words, but yeah, I feel like with him, he's about, I guess, like words that's going to cause an action, so, and it's whether it's some on her or whatever the case may be, but I just, overall, long story short, I don't trust the idea of him being in a relationship. I'm like, you dealt with him long enough. You hear some things about him. Yeah, somebody like him, they're not a good significant other and things. So that will be wild though. It's like doing this podcast episode, and all of a sudden people are all like, oh, Just a Robot. He's going off. He crashing out because of this podcast. I'm like, hey, well, it's like thing is this. If I said something that's going to upset him in this podcast episode, it's most likely the truth. So that's how I look at it. It's like if he going off, going crazy, losing his mind because of whatever, all the stuff that I said in this episode, then I'm like, well, most likely what I said is true. Most people would just laugh about it. Let's say if he turned around, he did this same podcast episode about me, I would laugh about it. I'm like, fam, how do you even know of these things? How do you know about me as a person? How do you, like, I'll question it, but I'm like, I'm not going to lose no sleep over this. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So my thing is this. If I'm wrong, that's the energy that he needs to have. But if I'm right, I guarantee and I promise you he gonna be going off about this. All right, so but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.